How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Awesome Sauce News. And today I'll be doing a little bit of a project, I should say. It's actually going to be a three-part video. Well, you know what? I actually haven't decided if it's going to be 2 parts or 3 parts, but it's at least going to be 2 parts. I'm building a new system, and this is very exciting because it's going to be my personal system that I will be using personally. What's that vibrating? But yeah, it's going to be an HTPC. So for those of you who don't know, HTPC stands for Home Theater PC. And as many of you might know from my last video, I mentioned that I am moving. I'm going to be moving into a new place with 2 awesome people, and we actually managed to get a house. So we were debating on whether or not to get an apartment or a condo, and it just worked out to our benefit to get a house. And because of that, we actually have a fairly decently sized living room, and I kind of want to put a bunch of cool stuff in there. I want to be able to entertain my friends when they come over, and just hang out with my roommates occasionally in the common areas. So because of that, I decided to finally build an HTPC, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time now, but since I'm kind of cooped up in my current room as it is, my current living situation, I never really had a reason to build one. This first part of the video is basically just me introducing the build, the purpose of it, and all of the parts that will be included and why I decided to choose those parts. The second video will be a build video where I actually physically construct the build, and you get to watch the entire process, or most of the process anyway. And I still haven't decided whether I want to do a time-lapse build of it or a tutorial. Maybe you guys can help me out. What would you like to see me do for the build itself? And if you guys have any good ideas, I might just take your advice. In the third video, I'm still debating on whether or not it should even exist. It's either going to be, well, it's probably going to be a demonstration, just all set up in my living room, in my future living room, so it might not actually come for a couple weeks or so. But nonetheless, I would like to do some benchmarking on it and just kind of show you the physical setup once it's all installed and ready to go in my new place. The cost of all this, of this build, is really going to be about $1,100 and that's not including Windows 7, which is what I'm planning on installing it, so that's without the OS. It's about an $1,100 build. I think $1,075.25 to be exact. So you can actually check out the parts for the information stuff. If you want to buy the parts, they're in the link in the description below. They're all linking to Newegg. I think for maybe 1 or 2 parts that are discontinued on the website, they'll link to another site that I won't mention. But aside from that, this is pretty much just going to be a multimedia heaven, or a central hub for everything media / entertainment. So it's going to be really awesome for video playback, you know, playing Blu-rays, streaming Netflix and that kind of thing. But also, it's going to be able to do some gaming as well. Now, it's not a pure gaming powerhouse. That isn't the intention of this build. So I don't want to hear you guys saying $1,100 and you only got that graphics card, because that's not the point of it. It's really just to be a really nice kind of middle ground as far as multimedia. I'm really excited to share the parts with you guys, so why don't we do that now? Alright, so starting off with the chassis, I decided to go with Silverstone's SG05, and this case has actually been around for quite some time now, but it's still a really solid case. It provides excellent airflow for being such a small little chassis. It only has one 120mm fan at the front of it, but it is pretty darn good. The only thing is it's a little bit loud for my liking, so I'm going to be swapping that out for a fan that I will be talking about momentarily. But more on the case. Silverstone has made some revisions to this case. They actually kind of reinvented it. I wouldn't say reinvented it, but they kind of enhanced it a little bit with USB 3.0. USB 3.0. It actually has 2 USB 3.0 ports on the front panel, so I could quickly stick a flash drive in there if I wanted to watch a movie, transfer a movie there on a whim. It's really useful, and it's just a really good case. It has a ton of ventilation for being such a small form factor chassis, and I'm actually really excited to be building in it, because it's just so darn cute and cubish that or cubic, I should say. But yeah, so that's the case. That's enough of the case, and I'll be talking more about the components during the build video when I build the computer. For the power supply, I also go with a Silverstone product. This is their SFX series 450 watt fully modular power supply. That's cool, but it's SFX. It's a fully modular SFX power supply, which you don't really see too many of these. And granted, this does come with a pretty hefty premium, I will say that, but it's fully modular, and where would you want fully modular any more than in a mini ITX form factor build? Because obviously you're trying to save space for all that excess cables and stuff, right? 80 plus gold certified as well, so this is going to be pretty epic. I can't wait to use this guy. It's going to just fit so nicely. You know, Silverstone power supply, Silverstone chassis. It's just going to be a beautiful marriage, in my opinion. Aside from that, I've also got, well, here's the brain of the operation. This is a 3570K Core i5 from Intel. I will be doing some overclocking with it just because, well, it's unlocked, so I should overclock it, right? It'd be a shame not to. But I understand this is probably a little bit more overkill than I need for an HTPC, but like I said, I will be doing some gaming on it, and I don't know, the cooling in this chassis is just going to be so awesome that I figure I might as well have some higher end components in there that are worth cooling. So this is really cool. I'm excited to use this guy. I know it's last gen, but it's still kicking strong, and yeah, should serve me well in all of my gaming and media playback needs. As far as the motherboard goes, I've got an ASRock Z77E Mini ITX board. This is actually a pretty decent board. It's about $140 right now, and it actually comes with built-in Wi-Fi. So it actually has those two external Wi-Fi antennas you can just place wherever to get better reception. And this is going to be really useful because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have a landline, or I'm sorry, like an Ethernet cable that's long enough to reach from the living room to wherever the router might be. So this is just nice to have Wi-Fi as an option. I could always, hardwire it in later if I so desire. I don't really need to use the Wi-Fi, but it is nice to have that option. Moving on, let's see, which component should I use next? Memory. Let's go with the memory. It makes the most logical sense. These are two 4 gig DIMMs. These are Crucial's Ballistics Sport edition of memory. These are DDR3, 240 pin, of course, and they are clocked at 1600 megatransfers per second. Now, I looked at the reviews of this kit online, on Newegg actually, and it just got a lot of hate. But I realized after doing some research that people were only people that had AMD builds were having issues with these sticks. And granted, there's always that chance that you're going to get a kit DOA no matter what platform you're running, but Crucial admitted themselves that there was some compatibility issues with their memory sticks, these ones in particular, and AMD systems. So hopefully I don't run into any issues with these guys. They look pretty solid. They're also extremely low profile. If you've ever seen some ridiculously low profile DIMMs, these are probably the ones. You can barely see them when they're installed. So these should also be pretty sweet, and makes a lot of sense to use a kit like this in a build like the one I'm building. Aside from that, oh, this is cool. This is the CPU Cooler Heatsink. This is a Samuel 17 from Prolimatech. It is Prolimatech. I've actually never used a Prolimatech product before, but this had really good reviews online. I actually first saw this heatsink in a build on overclock.net. I was in the BitPhoenix Prodigy Owners Club or whatever, and I saw some dude with a really sick looking build in a white Prodigy, and he was using this cooler, and it just caught my eye. I was like, what cooler is that? I need to find out. Luckily, he had specified which one it was. It was the Samuel 17, and it's gotten really good reviews on Newegg as well. So I also like the fact that it's just a heatsink, so I can include whatever fan I want on it and have a little bit more control there. The fans, which I should talk about now, I don't have on me right now. They're still being shipped. You can do a little hand dance while I talk. They're still being shipped to me. They're on their way. They are two Gelid fans. They are kind of a happy medium, actually, between airflow as well as static pressure. So I'm going to have one of them on that heatsink on the Samuel 17, and the other one is just going to be replacing that fan on the SG05 case. So I'm going to go for a little quieter fan. I think these Gelids spin at 1500 RPM. They are PWM, I believe, and they've also gotten really good reviews. So going to be excited to swap those out and see how they perform. Moving on to the video card. Now, this is probably all what you guys are wondering. I just care about the video card. Nothing else matters. I'm going with an EVGA GeForce GTX 650 Ti Boost. And this is the Superclock edition. It is also 2 gig, has 2 gig frame buffer, so it should be able to handle most 1080p gaming with a lot of AAA titles. Definitely not going to be anything close to what my 670 is doing right now in my full desktop tower. But like I said, this isn't a pure gaming machine. It's not intended to just rip the crap out of every game I throw at it. It's just intended to, have fun and be able to play some casual kickback games with some friends every now and then in the living room. So I think this thing will suit me really well for this build. If you actually want to see some more benchmarks on the 650 Ti Boost reference design, I actually did a video of that a while back, a couple months ago. I actually even did 2-way SLI benchmarks with this guy. So keep in mind it was the reference though, so this will have a little bit of a performance increase because it is factory overclocked. I also wanted to mention that it is typical EVGA reference style cooler, so it is a blower style fan. All the air is going to be ejected out the back, which I felt was a good choice considering the chassis and the form factor that I'm using. And I'm almost done here, almost wrapped up. Let's go with the SSD. So this is the SSD. This is actually the same model of SSD I'm giving away. This isn't the same SSD I'm giving away. Totally two different SSDs. I'm not going to use this thing for a month and then give it to you guys used. But this is the Plextor M5 Pro, 256 gig SATA 3 drive. It is a pretty beastly drive, and it's going to suit my needs because, I don't know, I feel like 256 gigs is a nice happy medium. SSDs have been getting cheaper lately, so I was going to go with a 128, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's just upgrade and have a little bit more space than we need to, but it's always good to have more and not need it versus the other way around. So, really good drive, and also, yeah, I just didn't want to opt for a mechanical drive at all, just because I feel this is enough space. I'm probably going to do a lot more streaming than actual downloading, yeah, this is also going to make the system a little bit quieter, as well as a little bit, it's going to free up some room, not having a massive 3.5-inch mechanical drive in there. And lastly, this, I don't know why I made it sound like a drum roll or something, it's just a slim optical drive. This is LG's. It's a Blu-ray combo drive, basically. I don't think it writes Blu-rays. It is a DVD combo drive, however, and it does read Blu-rays. So this is going to be pretty vital to my HTPC, because I do have a small Blu-ray collection, and I do still like optical media as far as when it comes to movies and stuff. It's really nice. I like having a physical copy of a disc sometimes, just being able to pop it in and watch it, not have to worry about any codecs or anything like that. It's all just good to go right when I want it. So this is a really nice drive. It's slim. Once again, I don't know if I mentioned this, the SG05 only accepts slim form factor optical drives. So yes, they are a bit pricier, but actually not by much. If you're just going to get like a regular form factor optical drive and it's a Blu-ray player, it's really not going to be that much cheaper. So and you know, optical drives aren't for everybody, but for my purposes and this HTPC, definitely wanted one of these guys. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna just close the video out like this because I'm too lazy to set up the tripod and all this stuff. How's the framing? Too lazy to set up the tripod and all that stuff, but there are all the parts for this build. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are excited and looking forward to the actual build video. Leave your comments in the section below and give me some advice on what to do for the next video, particularly the build. So thank you all for watching. I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce News, and I'll see you guys in the next video.